It's 5 o'clock, so we're going to open the Rules Committee. So all the commissioners are here, they're present, accounted for, and we'll have prayer. John Carney.
Thank you for the service of those who are leaving us this month. We thank you for the service of those who will be joining us next month, and we thank you for those who are continuing on and providing institutional memory. Lord, we ask that you would be with the horse show, that it might be a positive and safe thing for the community. All these things, Lord, we ask in your holy and almighty name. Amen.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is approval of the July 21st, 2026 Rules and Legislative Committee minutes.
Move to approve.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. A public comment period. I didn't see anyone that had signed up. Does anybody want to speak to the Rules Committee? There being none, we'll go to the next item. Under considerations and recommendations, the consideration of placing the August 11th, 2026 Commission minutes on the September 8th, 2026 County Commission agenda.
Make a motion, we place those on the agenda without a recommendation.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Third item is consideration of placing the notary applicants on the September 8th, 2026 County Commission agenda.
Move to approve.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, approval of reports. The first one is a veterans report. In July, it looks like 66 veterans came by and were assisted at the office, and 56 veterans were transported to the VA hospitals. And we have Director Ben Ely here. If you've got any updates or is there any questions for the director?
One comment, Mr. Chairman. As we spoke earlier, our $100,000 broadband grant has finally been working its way through the process. We do have a purchase order. We do have a vendor. The vendor will be in touch with you this week. I gave him your cell phone number to do the installation for the telehealth as well unit, as well as the workstations there. So he will contact you. It's out of Tullahoma. And so I think that will be a great help and assist to do the telehealth there in the office and help save some time for our veterans. And so it's our broadband grants are paying dividends for us. And thank you for everything you guys are doing, and I hope this helps you.
Yes, sir. I think it will too. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, thank you. Next item is for our information only, but we've got the community clinic, the medical report. I believe there were 107 patients that were treated or were seen in July. And in the dental side of it, I believe there were 95 patients seen. That's just for our own information. As I say every month, that's an outstanding service for our community, particularly picking up the dental side of it like they have. And I'd never thought they'd be treating that many people every month, but they do. Okay, does anybody have a question or comment about the community clinic? Being then we'll go to the next item is Ag Center report. As he's already said, there's several going off of the Ag Center. This was back in June or July that we had that report. Commissioner Anderson was going off, as well as I think Rick Epperson's last meeting was July, and then Kim Nash was leaving this month, as well as Jeremy Wells, and I think Rick Epperson, maybe another one.
I believe David Parker's leaving as well.
Okay.
But I do have a special meeting in July because the fairs coincided with
I was just gonna mention, I don't know if you will, Commissioner Epperson, but your name has come up to maybe try to serve on the Ag Board, but you may or may not. I just brought it up, but you can think about it, and it's your choice. It's not, you can do what you want to, but. Anyhow,
I nominate Commissioner Epperson to serve.
that's all right. You can just think about it and you do what you'd like. But we do need someone on the commission, I think, there that can report here at this meeting every month. But we'll hash it out as trying to get some other agriculture people to serve on the board. So we do need to get board members there, and anybody, certainly on the commission, can help with that. So you can check with some of the people in your districts and see if they want to serve on the Ag Center, and it'd be great. We'll try to get them on there. Okay, is there any other questions or discussion concerning that? I do want to thank Commissioner Anderson for the years of service there. Not only here is here, I'll just go and get into it since you've been serving on that so many years, as well as here for 12 years. Originally he was on in law enforcement, which is public safety now, and he and Jason Sanders switched out. I think Jason got tired of me and Commissioner Vick sparring on the rules. Yeah, he wanted out of rules, so it worked out good. Bill wanted to come to rules, and Jason Sanders went to law enforcement, which is public safety now. Okay, Ben, then we'll go to the next item. It's quite a. Let me get my report back over here. The old business, new business. Now, all of us got letters from the county officials orientation program. They put that on for new commissioners, and I think, of course, 2 of the commissioners has already served, and they've probably been oriented, but the other 7, you need to go. This is at the Embassy Suites Hotel in Murfreesboro. It's next Monday. I think it starts at noon, and then they have a session till 5. Then the next day on Tuesday, I think that's the 25th, they go all day. But it's required, as far as I know, for new commissioners to go to that meeting. So try to get your schedule cleared to new commissioners and be able to go over there for a day and a half, because that training is very important. You learn quite a bit, and you just really can't miss it. Now, we've already somewhat talked about the Ag Center. Now, the regional meeting, I did call Charlie Curtis to see when that was this morning, and he did say it was because they moved it from Henry Horton 4 or 5 years ago. In fact, they hadn't been since they moved it to Lewisburg, and they had it at the Walking Horse Museum for a year or 2, and then I think he said this is the second year they had to move it to McKnight Center, which is on West Church Center in Lewisburg. Anyhow, it's 14th of September. I think it's on a Monday, but it's always good to go to that regional meeting, because if you have any questions and you get immediate feedback from those people on CTAS and otherwise, and I suggest if you want to know what's going on and meet with some of the other commissioners from the other counties, there's, I think, 4 counties represented there at that meeting. It's good to mix and mingle and ask them about this or that. It's very beneficial. Even though I hadn't been in the last 3 years, when I was going to Henry Horton, I didn't miss a year, and it was very beneficial. And Charlie Curtis heads it, so you'll see Mr. Curtis there as well.
Have free supper and
Yes, they always feed us well. So that's September the 14th.
and it's free.
Yeah, yes, it is, and it's good information gathering place. Yes, sir.
And also, I think the orientation coming up this next week is that current commissioners can also attend, and you do get credit for that as well. I've checked on that, so I do plan on attending.
Yeah, the only caveat there I read at the very bottom is $250, but they'll bill you later, Commissioner Powell.
Read that too.
Ooh, that's a little steep for a day and a half, but that's okay.
I read that
It's
it was
$250 for us to go, but it is beneficial. I'm not going to get into that because everybody got those letters, but it goes over a number of topics and issues that we've got that will be brought up, and I'm sure in the end there'll be questions on data centers and wastewater and all planning and all these other things, which is the hardest decisions that we have to make on the commission, comes out of those areas. Okay, Any other announcements? I want to thank Commissioner Anderson again. He sat by me for several years here, and I'll stay in touch. We need to get transition, and I've already told him with the Ag Center. I want to get that board built back up and try to get somebody in there. We all need to, because it's done real well. Okay.
Are we at announcements right now?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as I know, we don't have any other business.
Okay.
It's, I got, yes, I do, and and well, I will go, let me, John, you wanna make your announcement?
I'll wait till after that.
Okay, all right. Well, yes, we have, we had 9 new, commissioners. This, and some of them called me, right off. There's 2 or 3 I've hadn't heard from since, but I'll try to explain it. One of the first ones I talked to, was Brent Smith. He called me immediately, and I said, about committee serving, and he said, that he wanted a rose. I said, well, we got 3 slots, so that's fine with me, and you've already served, so we'll wait and see how it shakes. But that's how it happened. The next one, Brian Bruce called, and he wanted to serve on public safety. Well, at that time, everybody was on public safety. I didn't know anybody that was going to leave or anything else. Well, in the end, they moved, because after that, I did, Michael Gregory sent me an email, which I didn't get, maybe a voice message, and then sent me an email. I did get that, so he contacted me very early and wanted on finance. So those people I talked to first, and I just had to wait and see. Now, the way it turned out, we did have some people move off of public safety. So, and I can't remember, well, at the end, it was Eric. And when I was talking to him, he said, and he wanted rules. So that worked out fine to make a move there. So that worked out real well. So, Eric was placed on, tentatively on the rolls. Of course, he has, quite a years of experience, and that was considered in all of this. And then, of course, the other 2, Commissioner Neely and Commissioner Boutwell, have been wanting on the Finance Committee for years, several years, so I just went on and pushed them up. I didn't call them. I didn't need to. I knew they wanted on the committee, and they did. I did talk to them later on at the commission meeting, and they certainly did, and they've served their time, and I think they certainly need to be placed there. So I did, I need another spot on law enforcement, so I talked to Commissioner Pinson, Sylvia, and she said, well, she was more pleased to serve on finance. So that alleviated another spot, and then in the end, when I was at the meeting, Jason Boyette said, he wanted a rose, so one of the newer commissioners got passed down to public safety. So anyhow, it's an ordeal. But this is how it is, and there are 2 or 3 commissioners I never did hear from. I never got in touch with me. They didn't call me. I didn't get any notes from them. So I don't know what we need to do about that. The commission will decide. The committee will decide. In fact, we'll be going to discuss this as soon as I finish. But the way it ended up on finance was Diane Neely, John Boutwell, Sylvia Pinson, and Michael Gregory. All this is tentative. This is just how it shook out of the hat, how they came to me, how the years of experience played in, and how they were placed. In rows is myself, of course, Commissioner Epperson's still on, Brent Smith was put on tentatively, Eric Maddox was put on, and then I found out that Jason Boyette wound up, so that made 5, so that solidified the rows. I did have to move one of the newer commissioners off of rows back down. I think it was public safety, but anyhow, it's another matter. In public safety, of course, Commissioner Thomas has been chairperson for years. He'll still head that. And then Jason Sanders, as I've already said, he had served on that prior to that, and he wanted to go back. And like I told him earlier, as long as I get somebody to move, it'd be fine. Well, they ended up, all of them moved. 2 of them moved to rules, and then 1 moved to finance. Well, anyhow, on public safety, after Jason Sanders, Brian Bruce is on there, and DJ Deason. is on there. And Courthouse and Property, Commissioner Davis said something about me. I said, you can't move, ain't nobody left. I said, we can't put 4 new ones or 5 new ones on there. We need to have some experience on there. And yeah, I said, sorry, Commissioner Davis, I mean, you, yeah, that's absolutely, you probably chairperson. But anyhow, then it just, that was all that's left. Jared Featherstone from the 1st District, Alex Mitchell, which weren't on finance, but I told Alex at the meeting, I said, no, hey, you're gonna be on Courthouse, that's the only thing left. Jennifer Templeton, which I never spoke to, in 6th District's on Courthouse, and Roy Turner I never spoke to, never called me, ended up on Courthouse, and we probably need an elder person. Not that Roy's elder, but I guess he's retirement age. Well, anyhow, that's just the way it fell. Now it's open to the rules here. Y'all can do what you want to, but I tried to explain it. If you have any questions to me, how that happened, and how I just told you most of it, I tried to explain it, and that's how it sort of shook out of the sack. But it's still open for discussion.
Just to make certain everyone understands, those names will be submitted before the county commission, the new sworn-in commission, at next month's, and they will be nominated one at a time and be voted on out there. So appreciate you getting the list together, because that's what our bylaws said. But if you recall, our bylaws changed on the seniority. So seniority no longer is in our bylaws, but it is the responsibility of the chairman of the Rules Committee to collect these names, and you've done a great job on doing that. So thank you for your recommendations.
I make a motion, we send those to the commission as they are.
Is any other discussion?
What is the motion to send what to the commission?
The names he just gave out in the,
That's not the responsibility of the committee. That's the chairman's responsibility to send those up, not the committee. That's what our bylaws say.
Well, whatever y'all want to do, y'all. We'll do whatever you want.
The bylaws are very clear that the chairman collects the names.
Yes.
And that's what you've
Well,
done.
they vote on them, yes. I
And
don't
then
know
they
if
vote on one at a time, not as a group.
Okay,
like that.
that'll be fine. It's all right. I think everybody's place is. I don't know. 3 of them I've not talked to. The other 15 should be happy because they got their first choice. So, I don't know. We'll vote them one at a time. But I'd say I did the best I could trying to get people moved around. When law enforcement, I got them 2 or 3 to move. The people wanted on there. It was very helpful because I didn't know what we were going to do because nobody that was intact. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, so
when is it that we look at our bylaws again? Is that September or is that January?
I guess we do it anytime we want to. Yeah, well, it's first of the year when they come up and
January,
change. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can discuss that. There's another thing or two. The other thing is, and I didn't bring it up, but the last time is the first time it's happened. Normally, and as far as I know, because I was on there with Eugene Ray on the rules, and Eugene said nobody's ever served from the same district on the same committee until last time. And then we had 2, Commissioner Yarkey and Commissioner Johnson were from the same district. Anyhow, again, it went in the rules, but it never happened before. So that changed. I don't know if it said a president or not, but that hadn't happened. So that was another matter that I had, was trying to keep them. There's no 2 commissioners on the same standing committee, and I do think that should be in the rules. I don't think that should happen, particularly on the finance committee, as it was 4 years ago, although it wasn't a problem. I mean, it worked out all right, but it's just, it wasn't what we'd always done. Okay, so we're going to submit the names. That's fine.
Diane had a question.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking at the bylaws, and I'm not exactly reading this as you all are saying it, because when it talks about elections with nominations from the floor, it specifically says appointive office. These are committees, and the appointive offices seem to be, by definition in here, are all these other committees that we have. And nowhere in here does it really spell out that I can find, and if somebody else knows where it is, please direct me, of how these get to the floor. I thought Rules and Legislative was supposed to.
Rule 6Q.
6Q. Okay. Well, it allows that, but it does not specifically say it's for the committees. And it said appoint of office. And these are committees. And what it says is appoint of office, and these ballots are cast by voice vote. The majority of the Board of Commissioners is required for election. If no one is elected, then it goes through that process that we do. And then in the bylaws, when you look further over, it refers to commission-appointed subcommittees. So there's a little difference of verbiage
These aren't
there.
subcommittees.
I know. These are standing committees, but that's not exactly what it spells out. And when you get to these other committees, subcommittees, they're called appointed. So to me, there's a little bit, there appears to be a
difference.
little difference to me. Right. Right. Well, I was just trying to get clarification on that because I was not reading it that way. It appeared there was two different definitions going on in these bylaws, which
We're
we may
talking about
need
standing
to,
committees, and that's
which we may need to review.
standing committee membership.
On what page?
10, bottom of page 10.
Yeah, we've got plenty of time to review it, and we can do
Says-
what we'd like.
Yeah, all standing committees of the Board of Commissioners shall be elected by the majority vote of the commission at each September meeting with the Board of Commissioners after an election cycle that includes county commission seats. Before the August meeting of the Rules and Legislative Committee that follows said election, the chairperson of the Rules and Legislative Committee shall ask each commissioner which committee that person wishes to serve on. Each September following the initial election cycle of the Board of Commissioners, the Rules and Legislative Chairpersons shall contact each commissioner about their standing committee placement to see if any changes are requested.
Right, and I saw that also, so it almost appears that Rules and Legislative is a nomination committee who submits a ballot for approval, is
They-
how that almost reads without any nominations from the floor. And that other
I
one seemed to
disagree totally
direct.
with that perception. That is incorrect. The chairman
Well,
of
like
the
you
rules.
said, it's a matter of perception.
It
and
is a
that
matter of
was my
perception and
matter of
interpretation
perception.
as well.
Yeah, we've always had a problem.
Well, if the commission is gonna vote on it and they vote one of them down that's been submitted, I guess you would have to have something come from the floor.
Well, maybe, but again, and it's not in the rules about keeping them separate from the same district, but it should be adhered to. But yeah, be fine. We'll see. Maybe it'll work out. I don't know what the other three. They may be satisfied where they are. If they are, then it shouldn't be a problem. And I'm sorry that the others, but I did the best I could. If they didn't get in touch with me, and I thought some of them would be at the last meeting or here, but it's okay. This is what I put together. Well, there wasn't anything left. After the end, I had one slot, and there was one person, so that's where it landed. Okay, any other discussion? Anybody in the other commissioners have any comments? Okay, Ben, is there any other announcements?
Mr. Carney had one.
Okay, yeah, yes, yeah.
Of course, I'm the ex officio county government representative on the Senior Citizen Center board, and wanted to remind everybody we have a fundraiser coming up Thursday, spaghetti dinner and live auction. It'll be at the center, and I have tickets if anybody wants any. So, and that's from 4 to 6 p.m. We will have carryouts available if anybody wants to carry it out, but it'd be more fun to stay there and bid on stuff at the live auction.
How much are the tickets?
$12. And Craig and Wheeler will be doing the live auction, so.
Mr. Chairman, I have one thing. This will be my last meeting on the Rules Committee. I've enjoyed being a member of this. I would like to tell everyone, one of the first things you told me, Commissioner Fair, was when we get on this committee, the one thing you have to do is you cannot hold grudges. You just can't do it. You can argue, you can disagree, you can have any kind of conversation about it, but you never hold a grudge. And I think that has been excellent advice that we've had. And I know that in my experience, you and I have gone at each other over 8 years together, and we have been friends before. We're friends now. We'll be friends from here on out because we've never had a cross-personal word between ourselves, and I thank you for that. Also, I have a copy of my Robert's Rules of Order that I have had, and I've inscribed it to you, to my longtime friend with whom I have always had the deepest respect. So, Commissioner Fair, I'm giving you my Robert's Rules of Order there. And it's a little dog-eared, and there's some marks in there and some comments, so. Reference material. This was not from the 1940s.
Hey, yeah, I'm sorry. Is there anything else to come before the committee? Okay, Commissioner Thomas.
Mr. Chairman, just before everybody gets out of here, I know some of you leave after these meetings, but on September the 8th, will be the dedication of the 437 Railroad Bridge for Senator Jim Tracy at 10 o'clock. Yes, September 8th. And I know everybody's coming out of the horse show, and that's going to be a busy week. You got September 11th that same week, and the Veterans thing. That'd be 10 o'clock that morning, out there at 437 at the Railroad Bridge at Railroad Avenue. Right now, that's the way it's scheduled now. I don't know what the weather will do, but a lot of us know Senator Jim Tracy. I know him personally. He worked at the Fire Marshal's office there at the last, and he did a lot for us. So, and I know he's done a lot for our county and other counties. So, just wanted to remind everybody that before they got going.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Anything else? Any other announcements?
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so moved.
All right. We're going to call the Public Safety Committee to order, and we'll be led into prayer by Commissioner Maddox, please.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity to come together, Lord, and do the people's business. I pray that you'd keep your hand over this meeting, Lord, that we would do your will. Lord, I pray that you'd be with those that have lost loved ones, those that are sick, Lord, that couldn't be here tonight. Lord, I pray that you would continue to be with our county, continue to be with our nation. Lord, thank you for all your many blessings, and thank you for your son that died on the cross for our sins, Lord. And it's in your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. We have roll call. Sylvia did say that she had a commitment in driving a bus or something. I can't imagine, but anyway. And then, but we've got three of us here, and we'll carry on with business. The first item on our agenda will be the approval of the July 21st, 2026 meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Next will be public comment period, and I did see a name out there, but I don't know. Okay, step up if you would, state your name and.
Yeah. My name's Jacob Majors Manley. I've been living in Bedford County my whole life, 32 years. And my concern was that recently, more than I can keep track of, I have picked up a lot of people on the side of 231 walking from the jailhouse to Shelbyville. And my concern was that that's a public safety issue with pedestrians walking on a busy highway. And all of the people that I encountered that were forthcoming about what their situation was said that they were denied the ability to call for a ride or to charge their phone or to have some sort of access to get them transportation from the jailhouse to where they live. And it is 2.3 miles to the Welcome to Shelbyville sign. And some of these people were making journeys like 8 miles, 50 years old, 60 years old. One kid was 18 years old in the pouring rain. And not only is that a hazard for the people that are walking, but it is also a hazard for the drivers because it just creates another a danger on the roadways. So that's my concern, and I wanted to see if there's something in place that we have to help people get into town, or if there's some sort of system that could be implemented to help them out.
Sir, will you give me your last name one more time? Manley?
Yeah, it's a double last name, Majors hyphen Manley.
In regards to these folks that you're picking up, are they indicating that they're homeless individuals or?
Indicating, I'm sorry, you'll have to forgive me, I am partially deaf. What was that, sir?
That's okay, and I have a strong Southern accent. So, are these folks indicating that they're homeless?
No, sir. No, sir, not in any means, shape, or form. They're most likely residents here in the city. I'm sorry? Yes, ma'am. I would say that the last person I picked up was probably 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 at the tops. And then the young man that was walking in the rain was in July. So.
Okay, this is kind of new to me, and
Sure.
I travel that highway pretty frequently, and I know you live out that way. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
you're going to have to give us some time to
Absolutely, I
to
totally
look
get it,
into
yeah.
and see what's going on, and there may be nothing that we can do. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't know
Right.
the
Well,
situation out there at all.
just as a concept, an idea, I've been trying to think about what could be done to help these individuals. A lot of these people are probably getting arrested, and they probably have their phone on them. And then by the time they get out, their phone's dead. And people don't memorize their phone numbers like they used to anymore. So when you get out of jail and nobody will let you charge your phone, and you're told you have to leave, and then you leave and it's pouring rain, you'd be lucky to get a ride into town. And you wouldn't be able to have a way to call anybody. So if they could simply charge their phone, that might cut down on a large percentage of them. That's just a concept that I thought of. But
Yeah,
beyond that,
and I
I
don't
mean,
know that,
sure.
that's going to fall under the jail policies, and a lot
Uh-huh.
of those policies are dictated by the state, and I don't know if they have those capabilities or not there. And the jail administrator's here today, and the sheriff, and they may want to address that, but being the first time they've heard it, they may not know a whole lot about it themselves. So you'll have to give us some time to look into this. And of course, I know we got this whole committee, other than myself, will be changing. So you'll have some other people that we will definitely look into it and see what's going on and see if there's a solution to that issue. I don't know. I can't tell you anything right now for sure.
Right. It's just generally by just the nature of life is if it continues, eventually someone that's old is probably going to get a heat stroke or get really sick in the winter, or God forbid, someone's going to hit them and it's going to end the person's life that's walking, and it's going to severely and drastically change the person's life that hit them. So this is a concern that should definitely be addressed. I appreciate
Yeah.
you relaying that information.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was pretty much it. I hope I kept it under 3 minutes.
Have you taken the opportunity to contact the sheriff's office and
No, I have
speak
not.
to them about the issue? Okay.
I have not.
All right.
I talked to April, and she informed me that this was a great way to communicate the issue, and so that's what I'm doing.
Okay. I think our jail administrator would like to address the issue. If you're okay with him coming up right now and talking about what's fresh on everybody's mind, you.
Well, I'm not the jail administrator, but I am sort of filling in for him tonight, I guess. So you're fine. So every single person that is incarcerated in our jail knows when they're getting out. I can assure you, we get more calls about what is my out date than any other question by a lot. They all know when they're getting out. If for some reason they don't have the ability to call somebody the entire time they're incarcerated in the jail, we will be more than happy to let them use the phone when they're getting booked out. I've never seen anybody that asked to use the phone to call for a ride turned down. Now, the one thing we cannot do is keep somebody in jail past their out date. So at the time that they're supposed to be released, we have to turn them loose. We can't just keep them. They have every opportunity, and they all know when they're getting out. If they leave and they don't have a ride, I'm not exactly sure what we can do, but we will give them every opportunity to call somebody to come pick them up. You look at me like you don't quite believe what I'm saying.
Well, it's just their version of things is that they were refused phone calls. Those are the people that talked to me about it. Not everybody wanted to talk about why they were walking on the road, but there's a pattern of people that are walking on the side of the road from the Justice Center down 231, and they all have these folders with paperwork in them.
Yeah.
You know,
There is, at least, let me rephrase that. There was, and I imagine there still is, on the door going out of booking to leave the jail, a posted sign that says, if you need to use the phone, use the booking phone, which is right on the other side of that door. Don't go to these local businesses and ask to use their phone because they're not going to let you. That's the last thing they see before they walk out of booking.
so might I add something to that? So if my phone's dead and I don't have the phone numbers memorized that I need to call someone, and I get out and the phone is available and there's a sign that says don't go to the local businesses on the way, and nobody will let me charge my phone, how am I supposed to make a phone call? Do I just dial
If somebody was
the
leaving
number
and
hope
they
for the
told
best?
me, because I was a sergeant and I spent a lot of years sitting in booking, and they said, hey, I can't remember my wife's phone number, but it's in my phone. Can I charge it? I would let them charge it. If I was really busy and I didn't have time, I would say, go out those 3 doors. When you see sunlight, turn right and go back in the commissioner's door. Chairs in there, sit down, charge your phone. We give them every opportunity.
And let me say this, I know he's a man of his word. He started a lot of good programs rehabilitating a lot of our inmates and stuff, and we've had a real good success rate, and so I have no reason to doubt anything he would say. But I think what we probably ought to do is give it another 30 days and look and make sure that the signs are there and that all the staff is educated and knows those signs are there, and see if we can solve this issue and maybe look at it a little deeper. Because I know right now, this is first we've heard of it. We don't know a whole lot about it ourselves, and give us time to look into it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to our reports. Animal control. We do have a report enclosed. Sheriff's report.
I know, or I'm assuming y'all have this report. I got it today. It was a drug task force. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is our activity report for July. The Bedford County Sheriff's Department patrolled 82,377 miles in the month of July. There were 702 warrants that we served, 194 arrests, total inmates, and of course this changes by the hour. Total inmates in holding 350, total persons passing through 270. I'm just going to jump around a little. In July, the amount of investigations was 387. There was 60 traffic accidents, 82 motorist assist, 25 transported that were in custody, 273 traffic stops, 84 911, 770 calls. So July was pretty hot in more ways than one. Now for the drug task force. Again, the month of July we just passed through. There were 22 investigations, approximately 29 defendants. The following items that were seized: one firearm and 2 vehicles were seized. Marijuana, crystal meth, powdered cocaine, prescription medications, which are believed to contain fentanyl, as always. Even got mushrooms. I don't know a lot about mushrooms, but they were confiscated as well. As usual, I think a couple were out on bond actually at the time of their arrest or investigation. So they too were relatively busy. Our court security, or judicial services division is the proper way of calling it, scanned or searched in July 4,139 people. Those deputies maintained security for 34 court sessions, and a total of 1,255 individual court cases proceeded during the month of July. Deputies served 29, and I'm talking about the deputies down there, 29 criminal and civil warrants. 21 people were actually taken into custody on warrants, and the deputies transported 101 inmates from court holdings in courtrooms. And that is pretty much my report. Just like to say thank you. I too will be doing my last call to service in this meeting. And thank y'all. It's been good working with everybody, and y'all been good to me. And it's been a blessing, and you just wouldn't believe still how proud that I am to put on a uniform and be called a deputy. But after about 51 years, I'm slowing down. So thank you so much for all y'all's help. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for the sheriff? We got a couple comments, and one I'd like to make. I hope you're able to retire, you've lived a lifestyle like this, and sometimes it's hard to get it out of your
Yeah.
system, you know?
Follows
But-
you, doesn't it?
But I've known you for ever since I was a kid, I reckon, and I've enjoyed knowing you and having you as a
Thank you.
neighbor as well, and
Yeah.
you've served this city and this county very well, and we appreciate everything you've done and your leadership,
Well,
Austin.
thank you.
You're a legacy in our county to me.
Well, thank you. I hope it's a good one, but anyway, I know. And thank you so much. I've been blessed with a lot of good help, good chief deputies and everything.
Yeah, I just want to tell you thank you as well. Great run. Appreciate all you've done for the
Thank you.
county.
It's been my pleasure.
Sheriff, I'm going to follow that up with it's all going to be good. But I just wanted to tell you personally that I appreciate you. I didn't have the opportunity and the pleasure to know you before I started to serve as a commissioner. And during the time that I got to know you, I saw a man that you wear that badge with honor. And when I think of a sheriff in any county, in any place in the United States, I think of you.
Well,
And
thank you.
the professionalism that you uphold every day, the way you carry yourself, even in some of the most controversial topics, you've always carried yourself in a way that makes me, quite frankly, look up to you, sir.
Well, thank
Sheriff, thank you for all that you've done, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. And now, some of the people that make me look good, Lieutenant Cook.
Before I give my numbers for the jail, I would like to say that I have considered it a privilege to work for this man for the last 12 years. I actually was hired about 2 weeks after he took office, so I might have been your very first hire. I don't know. Okay. So for the month of July, sheriff's fee, we took in $3,605.45. Comp fee, $166. Commissary, $15,079.08. Phone, $56.91.16, and sex offender registry was $150. That was a total of $24,691.69. Our outside work crews saved the county $60,720, and our inside workers $87,885 for a total of $148,605. Housing for the state in June, I don't have the July numbers yet, but it was $182,924. And DeKalb County paid us $31,588 for a total of $214,512. And in terms of real funds and offset labor costs for the county, the jail took in $387,808.69. Our average jail population for July was 320. Our average tray cost to feed those people was $1.61. And total number of trays was 30,750.
Any questions for Lieutenant Cook?
Lieutenant, are you utilizing your garden to help feed the population?
Yes, sir.
How's that going? It's hot. It's been hot.
Been a bad year. Had a lot of rain in the early summer and killed all our potatoes and our corn, and but all the lessons I want to teach in the garden, they still learned everything. We planted a fall garden. We were expecting to kind of do better this fall with a. It's kind of weird for me to say we had too much rain. I don't think in my whole life I ever said that, but we had way too much rain.
Our cucumbers at home didn't do very good, did y'all's?
No, if you ride right out here to the bypass and see that big field of corn over there, it looks sick. Everything does. Talked to a lot of people. Not one single person told me they've had a good year in their garden. So, but yes, we do everything. That we grow in the garden comes in. Now we have had some really good things, but in total volume hadn't been that great.
Any further questions? Thank you, Lieutenant Cook. Next is the EMA report, and David's out of town, but I will give you kind of an update. I know past month or so, he's worked on the, all the public safety's work for the, getting the celebration stuff together, and then he's been working on, and we're still working on the Jim Tracy thing, and that, 437, Brian and I went out there this morning, and in about 10 minutes, 50 vehicles come through that intersection, and so we're trying to figure out what's going to be safe for the people out there trying to dedicate this and speak. So we've got a meeting Monday, is that right, to sit down and try to work out a lot of those details. But other than that, I think you've got a copy of EMA's report. Also enclosed, we have the juvenile detention report and probation. There, I thought I saw probation come in.
Well, I don't have anything to add to the report, but I sat over there and listened to this conversation, and I think I'm going to speak on it if y'all give me a minute, about the people walking from the Justice Center. I work out there. I see the people. And I can't say it's the jail's fault, because I've seen people walking to and from court out there, because the court's handled out there. I had a gentleman on probation with us tell me he walked from Lewisburg to our office because he's afraid to break the rules. So, and that's one reason why I pushed to get an office closer in town, because I know I have a whole lot of homeless. Just last month, we had a homeless gentleman that's well known in town walk to court. First time I've ever seen him in court. And he walked there. So there is a problem with people walking out to the Justice Center or walking from the Justice Center. I do see that as an issue, but I don't think it's a jail issue. I think it's just because of the location of the Justice Center towards town. And that's just my personal take on it. I have directed my officers and myself not to give the people a ride back into town, because probation officers aren't well-liked people. And a lot of these people walking back to town are clients of ours, and you have to separate the two. So, but, you know, a phone booth out there so they can make a call, or, you know, something would be beneficial for the people out there.
Maybe once the new committee starts,
I
that we can sit
understand.
down with you and Lieutenant Cook and maybe some of the jail and see if there's a common solution that we can come up with that will aid these people. You can't force them to use it, but
Right.
give them the option.
Right, and I just wanted to make sure that it's just not a jail issue. It's a Justice Center issue. I didn't want to put all the burden on them, because probation court, I mean, child support court is being held out there. So, I mean, there's a lot of people without rides. So I just wanted to give that 2 cents. That's
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Go ahead.
So, Mr. Chairman, just, and thank you for that, and I agree. Mr. Majors Manley, I just want to say thank you, though, too, for bringing the situation up and making us all aware. You know, there's folks in this room that can help make things better. And thank you for having the heart to pick up those folks. You know, that's a good thing. That's a big heart, and I commend you for that. Although we can't make the decision to fix this problem, now that you've surfaced it, I'm sure that the folks that can make things better can help contribute to that conversation. But I just wanted to say personally, thank you for your heart for people from humanity standpoint. Thank you.
Or is there any other business to come before the Public Safety Committee? April? No, we do have it. Yes, yeah. Yeah, all the reports were there. Any new business? I think we've made the announcements. Go ahead.
I'd like to say the last 4 years, Mark, you've done a great job being the chair, and I appreciate your guidance the last 4 years, so thank you.
Well, thank y'all. There's some reason they're all leaving my committee, and Keith, I don't know. Keith, hang in there, bud. But no, I appreciate y'all, and I think we've done good together, and not always agreed, but that's okay. That's what people are. But I cherish each and every one of you commissioners, as your friendship, the ones that's leaving and the ones that's coming on. And we got bright things ahead of us, I think. Thank you all. Motion to adjourn.
All right, we're calling the Courthouse and Property Committee meeting to order. If y'all would, bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to be public servants of this great county. Just be with us as we go through these reports and we continue to do the business of the county. Let us keep you in light of every decision that we make and the constituents of this county. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, we do have everybody present except for Commissioner Thomas. We do have a quorum. And first order of business is the approval of the July 21st, 2026 minutes.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any changes or alterations? All in favor? Aye. All right, public comments, anybody? All right, not seeing any. Continue moving on. Our first report's our codes report.
Good afternoon. I know you guys got my report a little late this month. Wanted to just review real quick. We are on a path to be issuing more permits month over month as compared to last year. This July we issued 22 new house permits compared to last July of 16. And of course that increases our department's revenue when we do those increases. Inspections are, I included that this time, the inspections performed. As you can see, month over month compared to the prior year, we have definitely increased the number of inspections. So the demand is definitely there. Our department is hiring, just working on finding the time to interview those applications I'm getting. It's very, very hard for us to find a fully qualified person. Any questions?
Any questions? I would like to say thank you for the last 3 years that I've been chairman
you.
and 4 as I've been on the committee. I always appreciate your reports, and I know you've been here almost every time, and I just appreciate you being here and giving the reports and keeping the county up to date with kind of where growth is coming and all those. And so I just appreciate you and the work that you're doing.
Thank
So
you for
thank
that.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you. Next items, planning and zoning. I didn't see a report in here, so we'll just kind of move over that one. Fourth is the IT report. You got that in front of you as well as by email. Anybody have any questions for Josh?
No, well, I did want to mention something. First of all, I see that there's a few of you that are leaving, and you're finishing up your terms. I haven't spoken to any of you about it, but just want to say thank you for stepping out here and supporting our community. As a lifelong member of the Bedford County, with a big family roots here, I just want to say thank you for trying to push things forward and improve our community. I have children growing up in the school system. It's really important for people to step up and stick their neck out there, and it's a difficult task to run for public office. And I just want to say I admire you, and I appreciate you to do that. Specifically, I would like to address Commissioner Hooker and Commissioner Maddox. When you guys came on board, I remember you telling me we had a disastrous email system, which, you know, it served its purpose for what we were trying to do. We've always tried to make sure that we provide a service and with the budget in mind. And the cost is always an important factor. But in looking and analyzing what we had, we went ahead and requested that we were able to try to make some forward movement on that. It's taken us a few years because we had to rebuild some of our infrastructure to be able to leverage some of the new technologies that most of your enterprise is doing. And while we might be a little bit behind the private sector, as we probably should be in some areas because of the cost factor, I would say that we're making great strides in pushing forward a more modern, the Microsoft M365 system across the board. That will enable us to do single sign-on, active synchronization technology with calendars and email across multiple devices. So I recognize the need, and I appreciate you guys bringing it to my attention. We were able to get the funding. I commend the commission for being able to give us the funding to push this forward for the county government. I think it'll help with productivity, and I think it's a really good move for us going forward. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and tell you that we have purchased those licenses for the entire organization. We're in the process right now of migrating all the domains over to a new Microsoft domain, and that will allow us to synchronize those users with better security controls and more accessibility. So as we talk about accessibility of information, and as we talk about transparency and things of that nature, I have to consider cybersecurity, that piece as well, because from the audit end, that's important too. But all these things were made possible by you guys jumping forward into this initiative, and I just want to say thanks for giving us a chance to do that, because we're moving forward with that. I just want to say, as you're walking out, Commissioner Hooker, that we're deploying that. So.
Well, and I do want to take a moment to just, I always enjoyed our conversations. You've always been open with me, and we've always, I've always had a lot of respect for you. I've known you for a long time. I mean, probably 25 years now. And again, I do appreciate you and your team. You have a hard job. It's a big county. You only have a handful of employees, and you do a great job of making sure everything's, seamless. So I do appreciate that and making sure all those meetings. Commissioner Maddox.
First of all, I want to say I know my name was mentioned, but you have done an amazing job over the past several years. I know you and I have had a lot of conversations, and you've been also very professional each time, and your team is one of the hardest working teams in this county. Not to take anything away from anybody else, but y'all are at every meeting. You try your best to make sure everything is broadcast out. There's some counties that don't do that. And but I just wanted to commend you and say, job well done, and many thanks to you. We have had some email conversations about the functionality of a lot of those platforms, but it's good to see that we're going to move forward. But I commend you for the work that you and your team are doing, and I sincerely mean it. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. You have any questions about my report?
All right, thank you, Josh.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it.
All right, moving on to the fire department.
I have nothing to add to my report, Mr. Chairman. I will tell you that the front page, those numbers are accurate. We just changed softwares and it went live July 1, so we were kind of in transition and trying to figure out where all of our numbers were, and we spent a couple of days digging for this, and we're still digging. We think in the long run it's going to be better for us. We cut our cost down probably around $6,000–7,000, and I know that don't sound like a lot, but it is to me. That's a set of turnout gear for me. So we do think that we're moving in the right direction and saved a little money there, but it's taken us a little while to get all that data transferred over, make sure the state and the federal government gets their numbers like they're looking for, and we concentrated on that more than getting our numbers for a report. But I know that front sheet is correct, and we audit that, so we keep a spreadsheet with all of our calls on it, and then we go back and compare it to the software. And so we're working through that, and hopefully we can get a better report. And I'm not gonna, unless y'all request it, I won't put it in color. That costs me more, but if you want it in color, I think I email it to you in color, so, but whatever. But I just wanted to let you know that we are working through that transition on our software.
Anybody got any questions for Mark?
We hadn't discussed it in a couple months. Any possibility of our land, anything
Okay,
to come
I
about?
will tell you this, and we've had to keep this down because one piece of property, we had a contract. I think Drew came and looked at it, and I've talked to Diane, several of you I've talked to. We got down to the contract, and then somebody offered more money for it, so we lost that piece. We are under contract right now, and it looks good, and it did cost us a little bit more money than I had gotten through budget, but the money I saved on buying a fire truck and then through other capital projects I saved, we're going to funnel that, and so it was no new money, basically. The land that we're looking at, it's ready to build on. It already has the utilities on it. It already has the storm retention pond, detention pond, whatever you want to call it. It already has all of that. It was going to be developed, and the developer backed out, and they told us, based on our drawings that we have for a building that we would like, that we would need a minimum of 2 acres. This is 3.5. And so hopefully this will work out and we won't have to somebody come in and buy it out from under us. But in saying that, this is the only step that we've got, and we've worked on this for about 3 years. I thought, well, even 4 years. Yeah, I mean, we've been working on this, and I can't tell you how many ant bites, chiggers I've gone home with, and some of them I ain't even sure what kind of bites they were, but we have walked a lot of property, and this one seems to be good. It's in the zone where we're at. It's in a place where our future plans, we've already bought a piece of property on Unionville-Deason Road several years ago, and we're looking how we're going to finance that through the volunteer system, but that will eventually, our plans, that will be a manned station, so we'll have one on this side and one on this side. So we're working our way in instead of being in the middle, working our way out. So we think everything will go good. I have all the documentation right there of all the properties we've looked at, all the communications, the dollar figures. Once we seal the deal, I'll happily share every bit of that with you all. I'm no attorney, and so, you know, we kept everything above board, and we just couldn't make it public because, like I say, the first property we tried to close a deal on, somebody come in there with a whole lot more money and snatched it right out from under us. And this property we're looking at, it's already passed all environmental studies, so they go to digging and there's nothing there for anybody to find. So, and the other properties we were looking at, and I will tell you this, there was 3 other properties we signed a contract with, and then after I got Jeff Sweeney to look at those properties, and then I went out and got a independent contractor outside of him to look at, to see what it would cost to develop those lands, and they both come back within about $100,000 of each other, and that was anywhere from $800,000 to $1 million just to remove the topsoil and get it where you could build on it. And one of them, there's a moratorium on the water and sewer, so they wouldn't even allow us to use that piece of property. So unless we wanted to build that infrastructure, and that's just more money. So, but that's where we're at on it. And I hope I've answered your questions, and I apologize for keeping you in the dark on of it. Now, I think I've talked to you individually about where we're at, but I'm telling you, land in Bedford County, I talked to a guy last night who has a piece of property kind of over toward Marshall County, and he's been offered an astronomical dollar amount. He's going to sell it and walk away. He said, I can't afford not to. So it's just unreal.
Anybody got any other questions for Mark? Mark, I do want to just, I'm trying to address everybody as I come through, because y'all have done so much for me over the last 4 years. And out of this room, I've probably known you the longest, between you and Brian Bruce and Brian Cantrell. You helped me get my start in public safety, and, so I really appreciate, what you've done for me over the years, and I've appreciated your guidance as I came onto the commission. I know we've had a lot of conversations, and I always admire your ability to, in the middle of the crazy, to be able to to talk through it and be a calm in the storm. And so I do appreciate all that you've done. I appreciate your friendship and your leadership as over the fire department, and and our personal relationships. So I really appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you too, and I go back a long way, because Drew taught our first responder class, and I think Brian Bruce. And so, and they put on a class 10 days, and the state, I think, told you that it couldn't be done, and we did it in, I think it was 2 weeks, wasn't it? And we had, I think out of that group of 20 or so that was in there, we only had one that didn't go get his license, and I was one of those that waited 2 years, right to the very end, but I still passed my test. I couldn't believe it, So they did something right. And I appreciate that, because they did put in a lot of hard work. They didn't get paid for it. They were teaching us 10 hours a day, bam, 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 just one subject after another. And they did a great job. And we can see the fruits of that labor now as to the lives that have been saved in Bedford County just by training these people to be first responders. And it's even advancing a little bit more. So I remember Drew, we was kind of mean to him when he first come on, but he still pushed through and did well on training us. And you've got that talent, and we appreciate it.
That was a fun class, wasn't it, Brian? It was long, but yeah, well, it was probably the first in the state that taught it all in a straight time period. At the time, Donna Tidwell was the state director, and she told us in absolutely no way, form, or fashion should we do it, because there's no way they'll pass. And it was me, Brian, and Joey Story that taught the class. It was over at the fire hall. And I will tell you, that was probably one of my favorite classes I've ever taught, because everybody cared. Everybody knew what we had to do, which was we had a short time to get a first responder program started. And everybody in there was committed. We actually had a couple members from the community that were high school. One was a high school student, and she's now a paramedic, or is she an AEMT? AEMT. And there was a lot come out of that class. So I thank you for bringing that up. So. All right, E911 report you have enclosed.
And on the building, building is complete. It's functional. They got their furniture delivered Tuesday. It was 2 truckloads of and when I say furniture, it's the dispatch consoles. It's specially made. So, and they were in the process. They said it would take them a couple of days to get all that put together. I know Josh has been out there and done some rearranging of cables and stuff. But hopefully, we're waiting on AT&T now to move the 911 lines out there, and then the rest of it will go in to hooking up and then doing a test phase on it and making sure it's ready to go. But I hate to say a deadline, because, I mean, if I said October, it could be October next year. I just don't know. If you've ever dealt with AT&T, and we deal with them a lot on car wrecks, when poles get tore down, they're not on no time frame. And they'll get to you when they get to you. And then they'll call us a year later, do you have a report on who hit that pole, you know? So that's kind of what we do. But yeah, they are moving forward, but it's been a slow process.
All right, thank you. Media GIS?
Don't have a whole lot to add to the report unless there's any questions. It was a busy month. It's going to be really busy at the end of this month. I've been thinking about it. I'm going to be busy changing out names on the website, you know, because I can't do it really till right around the day of, you know. But we'll be swapping things out. And there's a picture on the front page that we'll have to put a ticket in with the provider to get that changed, because that's part of the design. But anyway, we'll try our best to try and keep up with that. But other than that, nothing really to add to the report.
Any questions for John? John, thank you for all that you do for our county and keeping everybody informed. So thank you so much. All right, county buildings project, you have that enclosed. Yes, sir. Yeah, they'll make you go up there.
We have started using your new morgue. It is now, so I appreciate you guys, because the other one was not functional. It is now in function. We're waiting on the rack system, so we're still kind of in a little modified stage with it, but something happened with the bidding process of that, so we're waiting on the lift and the rack system to come in so that it can be fully functional. But we are out of that old building now, and we do have a functioning county morgue that we are in dire need of. So I know we started back this process 17, 18 months ago here, and I appreciate you guys getting that, you know, on the agenda, because we had to have that. I mean, and I want to reiterate, that's not an EMS morgue, that's your morgue, but it is functioning now, and we have a place that in the event that we need to take a citizen in to identify one of their loved ones, we have a place that we can do that where we did not. So I got with that. I do have one question, and I don't know if you guys are prepared to answer this, but just because we'll be coming on to the commission, have you guys started any process of getting rid of these other buildings, like the old workhouse and the juvenile judicial?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it came up a couple months ago, but because of so close to the election, we felt like that the new commission needed to weigh in on some of that. And the other thing is, you know, it has to go through the appraisal process and all that to be able to start talking about those. But we do have probably 3 or 4 buildings that need to have some consideration for that.
Okay.
I know that, you know, there's been some conversation about, you know, animal control needing space and things like that. So again, I think as the new commission comes on, that's probably something that they need to bring up and be able to kind of weigh in on, because again, as someone that's outgoing, I wouldn't feel comfortable with trying to make a decision.
And I'm not
on the
sure
way
exactly when they're going to move the juvenile detention. I know it's close. They were in the finals with it because we toured it the other day just for public safety purposes to make sure we knew how to get in and get somebody if they needed this. But with the surplus building stuff, that should be ready. So I just kind of figured out where we're at on getting rid of that, because if you've not been in it, you should go down there.
I'm sure it's much different than when I went in it last.
Okay.
So, yeah, but thank you for that. And Keith, put it on your list. All right, so I'll take a motion to approve the reports.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, any other reports that you're aware of? Any old business? Any new business? Any announcements?
I'm gonna take this opportunity. You've known Drew since what, 20? I knew him when he was. Yeah, sang at the boys' wedding. I've known him since he was a kid, and he's been an inspiration. And Drew, you know I love you. You're my brother, and I'm gonna miss you. And I know bigger and brighter things are ahead. And thank you for everything you do, everything you've done, the guidance that you've given everyone. And you know I love you and I appreciate you.
Well, I should get to say something too. I did not know you, Drew, until you came on, but I think we've developed a friendship, and I've really enjoyed serving with you these past 4 years. Then we've got Troy down there on the end that I did kind of know when he came on, but I've also really enjoyed serving with you. I've learned a lot from both of you, and I appreciate all that both of you brought to the table.
Yep, and I'm going to just finish this up with Diane, thank you. I've learned a lot from you. You know how to read a budget better than anybody I've ever met, and I've learned so much from you, so I appreciate that. Keith, you've always been a friend, and thank you. And I've enjoyed you ever since you come on the commission. I take pride that I got to make the motion to make you as a commissioner and or bring you on, and so I never regretted the moment I did that. And Troy, you've been a great friend, fellow coach, and just a great person, and thank you for everything you've done. Great friendship. So, anything else? Motion to adjourn.